All right, let's get our Facebook folks up in here before it's officially time to get going. Thursday morning, spinning wheel 1 and 2. All right, welcome in, welcome in. It is May 26th, 7:34 a.m. That means it's time for an episode of Broncos for Breakfast. I am Nick Kendell and joined by Scott Kennedy as always. Scott, how you doing? How was the graduation?
It was good. Lots of I'm expecting the waterworks when the girl gets off the bus today though. I think she's going to be she's going to be a little upset when she's leaving 5th grade, 6 years of elementary school. When we moved here 6 years ago, I told them, I said, this is our 13-year plan and we're already about halfway through it. So we're done moving until you get done through school. And so far so good. We've done one full elementary school with the youngest. So we are there, and thank you, Jeremy, for reminding everybody that we are live. I know that was a problem earlier this week as far as cranking up the stream on YouTube after we went live. So appreciate you hopping in there.
Yeah, absolutely. And appreciate a bunch of you coming in. Congratulations to you and your wife and your daughter there on graduating 5th grade. That's a decent, big accomplishment. So
It's halfway, just about,
yeah,
6
God,
years.
don't
What,
blink.
7 more to go?
Yeah, don't blink. It's going to be, well, all right. Also, you're entering, so this is your daughter, correct? You're entering the middle school age for your daughter. God bless. Good luck. I haven't had kids of my own, but I did have a younger sister, and things changed at about 5th grade through 8th grade. Let's just say that. Love my sister. She's getting married, but we all know how middle school girls can be. Diamond Rattler coming in saying, boom, let's go. Good to see you, Diamond. Also, Mark coming in saying, good morning, Broncos country. Ready for a beautiful day. And also, I should retract the last one. We know how middle schoolers should be. It's not just the girls. It's the boys, too,
Yeah,
but
I
different.
know. Mine is pretty, I don't care. I'm like, all
Yeah.
right, well, remember that. She's pretty even keeled, but we will see. I haven't told them this. I'll tell Sean when he gets done because he's entering 8th grade now. But it's like middle school sucks. It's the worst 3 years of grade school by far. Middle school sucks. You get through that, it's a breeze.
I enjoyed middle school mostly, but I enjoyed school. I was a big nerd. Mark coming in here too. Good morning, Broncos country. Ready for a beautiful day? Absolutely. And when you did your impression there, I thought you were doing one for Sean. I'm like, shouldn't it be? I'm okay.
Yeah, exactly. I told you, Sean walks in. My 7th grader who was 12. Hey, what sport do we have first today? Soccer or baseball? I'm like, Jesus Christ. He's his feet are already bigger than mine. At 11 years old, he was wearing bigger shoes than me. I'm 6'1". I mean, I'm not short. My feet aren't that big though. For 6'1", I only wear 10 and a halves, but still. And Arthur Eugene Spooner coming in says, hey guys, I'm going to London. Excited.
Awesome.
That's awesome to watch the Broncos Jags. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna say there's a 90% chance I'm gonna be there for that.
That's awesome. I'm really jealous. And if any of you guys are up here in Seattle for the week 1 game, hit me up as well. Jacob Foster coming in, one of our star leaders so far this month. This month's closing up, so he's going to be definitely close to the top. Jacob Foster, the silent one. We appreciate you. Good morning. Thank you so much for the support, helping us keep these morning shows viable and making Broncos for Breakfast, one of the top shows on this network. So we really appreciate that. It's really amazing. Also helping keeping us one of the best shows.
Sorry. Yeah. But like I said, Jeremy came in and said live, but we didn't get the notification. So yeah, we started just a couple minutes late. I graduating from finishing elementary school and being around there, all the kids, and Nick and I started talking a little bit about current events, and I went on a 4-minute rant. And we, instead of being early, we were then a little bit late. So apologies.
Yeah, it happens, but sometimes a good event. DWI guys coming in saying, good afternoons, Jensen Broncos country. And DWI guys, yeah, my DMs are open speaking about venting, Ethan. So hope you're doing well. Good morning to you. And Bruce coming in. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, Bruce. Paul Moore. I don't recognize this name or this picture, but cute picture of your child there. I was going to say daughter, but you never know. Could be long hair on that boy. The waiting is the hardest part. Hashtag Broncos for breakfast. Absolutely, Paul. Good to see you. US Dave's in here. Morning all. Sean, good morning, friends. Happy OTA Thursday. Absolutely. No injuries. Clee saying more worrisome is Billy Turner's knee. We'll get into it. No doubt. Luke Wright. Good morning, Nick and Scott in Broncos country. Let's ride, baby. Dom is coming in. Also, I saw Dom Harmio coming in. Dom was one of the first people to drop a heart over on Facebook. So if you guys could be like Dom, make sure you click the thumbs up, the heart, the care, the wow, whatever it is you want on Facebook. That goes for YouTube people as well. You don't have as many options. There's a care coming in there from.
What do you mean, YouTube people?
You know what I mean. You YouTube people. Dom coming in though. Good morning, Broncos country. He's got his coffee, got his Broncos colors, got 3 trophies. Hopefully it's added 4th one a year from now. Ashton, we are the most alive we've ever been. You said that showed that one, but it's good to be alive. Mandango Dan saying hungry for Broncos for breakfast. That's me too. Broncos gang coming in. Denver Broncos for life. We have a Twitch person saying want to be famous. We're already famous. We're on Broncos for breakfast. We're all hanging out now. And Mark coming in.
Big
God
stars.
bless you, Mark.
Big stars from Mark Schrader out of Texas. So thank you, sir.
Absolutely. Mark Schrader. Good morning, guys. Good morning to you, Mark. Mark, I always appreciate you sharing your Wordle stuff on Facebook. You must be pretty good at that because you always get it like on the 3rd or 4th one. And I see you do some of the ones that have like the 6 letters too. So Mark enjoys his word puzzle games, keeping that mind active. We appreciate that. Better than me, scrolling Twitter, doom scrolling sometimes, or, watching football over and over again. I've already started on the 2023 class. It's going to be a good time. Jesse coming in. Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning to you as well, Jesse. We appreciate you. Hope you're doing well over on Facebook. We also have Reese Scott coming in saying my 2 oldest kids live in Germany. One is coming to Denver to watch the game. The other is going to London. That's awesome, Reese. Hopefully they're taking both of you, to you with both of them. So that would be great. Also, I don't think we said hello to Bama X. Good morning, Broncos country. FC Donley saying daughters are easier than sons until they're teens. And then Jeremy says with girls, sweetness seems to go into their middle school ether. So, that's middle school was about when I became interested in girls too. So maybe I have a thing like, oh, they're kind of weird. Maybe I'm paying attention more than I did before, but who knows? Mike Gibbons, good morning, Nick and Scott. Joe Hamilton's in here. Master Binks as well. And Master Binks coming in and saying, MHH, as much as this sucks, I think Cooper is going to be all right. And this just sets up the next man up mentality for other guys to get reps in making progress before camp. Definitely possible. We'll get into that here in a second. Also want to say hello to Jeremy Bales. Good morning to you. And Bronco Gang, Broncos country, stand up. Awesome. Well, rock out. Let's get into this a little bit. We got some news yesterday about 2 injury fronts, but the first one I wanted to get into here was Jonathan Cooper. So Jonathan Cooper suffered an injury on his left ring finger, I believe, on the first day of OTAs, which is going to require surgery and is going to cost him the entirety of the offseason. And he's hopefully going to be ready for the regular season. So right off the bat, another injury to the edge rushing position where it's going to be even that much thinner this offseason, implementing a new defense. You that concerned, Scott? Or are you like other folks in here saying, no, he's going to be back by the regular season? Not that concerned.
I'm not too concerned. It'd be nice when to get the reps, but everybody's kind of starting. Basically, you want to see Jonathan Cooper build on where he finished last year. And I still think he'll be able to do a lot of that. There's academic progress where he's learning the schemes, going through meetings and watching and all that stuff. And there's actually physically going through it. Even if it's just walkthroughs, I think he'll still be able to do a lot of that. He'll miss some of the physical contact, but it's not as physical as it used to be anyway. But again, I think it makes more sense why we're seeing Baron Browning in a scheme where you're going to use less linebackers and you're going to want to get after the passers, and you're not set at edge to cross-train Baron Browning some. His numbers were better than Cooper's as far as physically. If I'm lining up as an edge, which one's your edge rusher? I'm like, okay, well, Browning's probably a little bit bigger and a little bit more athletic. It makes sense that I think, again, how do we get this guy off the field if he's not necessarily a scheme fit? Because we're only going to be playing with one linebacker most of the time. So, again, there's a lot of teeth gnashing about Baron Browning. I'm not so worried about Jonathan Cooper. I think you've got good depth there, and it's not a debilitating injury. It's not a lower body injury or something with a long recovery time, that he should be fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Just another thing, it's just like the edge rusher position is already, we've been talking about it all offseason, probably the most volatile position group on this Broncos roster, given the history of availability or lack thereof of the starting 2 guys and Randy Gregory and Bradley Chubb. Good to see Bradley Chubb out there. That again, we were talking before the show, the OTA blips that happened at Bradley Chubb jolting Awuzurike. It's like, oh, that's some pop there. And Awuzurike is a big man. But how much are we taking from that the OTAs themselves, not that much. I think Vic Fangio even said it last year. Like, how much does this matter for as far as the camp battle or deciding the quarterback? He's like, 1% or something. It's like, okay, pretty much nothing then. Just making sure
It's
you
a
know.
little different with a new scheme, as
Yeah.
far as, people going in, and it's a learning process. It's a time for learning,
Hmm.
familiarity, team building, that type of stuff. As far as, from our side of things, as far as watching and analyzing and gleaning, okay, there's not a lot to learn from
Hmm.
our perspective in OTAs. You want everybody to come out of it healthy. The learning goes on the other side of things is from the team for sure.
Yeah. 100%. Master Banks coming in saying he's kind of worried about Nick Bonito, that he's going to be another Shane Ray and show some signs and then fade out. But he doesn't think that'll be the case. I think Bonito is a better athlete and bendier than Shane Ray. And another big difference between Bonito and Shane Ray is I'm actually pretty impressed overall with Bonito's ability in space. Shane Ray always looked a little bit stiff to me when you're asking him to drop into coverage or anything like that or move laterally. And I think Bonito moves pretty darn well. His best trait is as a speed rusher, as a wide nine. But that said, he is a viable option to drop into space from that edge position or line up as a mugging linebacker and either attack an A gap or drop into coverage. So there's more versatility with Bonito than Shane Ray. But I think you're right about the floor. Shane Ray, he pretty much couldn't do anything if he wasn't rushing off that wide nine technique. And right now, that's Nick Bonito's best bet. He did more in the Big 12. Will he be able to continue to do more in the NFL? We're going to find
I
out.
got a couple more fairly big differences. The first one is one was taken almost in the third round and one was taken in the first round.
Yeah.
That puts less expectations, and even though he was your first pick, he was still taken 62. So there's less expectations on Nick Bonito coming in. Not going to be expected to play right away. The other one is Bonito's a better athlete. Nick alluded to it, but coming out in 2015, Shane Ray was 6'3", 245 with a 4.68 40. Now we're talking about someone in Bonito that is considerably more athletic, at least on the height, weight, speed measurement scale. So maybe a little more upside there as far as what we can get from a ceiling. And if you get 8 sacks in year 2 from Nick Bonito as a late second round pick, you're going to be pretty happy. But again, you don't want him to fade away either.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do want to say, just giving Shane Ray a little bit of credit. Obviously, he was not the best Broncos draft pick, but he helped them win a Super Bowl. So it is what it is. But during his combine process, he was dealing with an ankle injury, which I'm sure zapped some of his testing numbers as well. So do want to add that caveat.
And you look through his time, I see IR a lot on there. So, stay healthy for sure. Yep. That's a big key.
Yep. And Jeremy correcting me, I got my dates mixed up. They're expecting Cooper to be good to go by training camp, but those things tend to linger themselves out a little bit longer sometimes, or finger themselves out if we're talking about Cooper's injury here.
Yeah, again, even if he's wearing a red jersey or something, he should be available for most of what they are going to do. There's so little contact that goes on in camp, relatively speaking, now that he should be able to participate in a lot of what they're doing.
Yeah, you're right. Reese Scott also coming in saying not a bad thing to have Cooper start on the injured reserve. We have to sneak a couple of our young gems through the 53-man roster. Every team kind of feels that way, though, right? Most teams feel like they have some guys that, oh man, we want to make this guy sure to get there. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to see who doesn't make the team and who does. I'm waiting for training camp and preseason to really dig too much into that, not putting too much weight into OTAs other than guys trying to stay healthy. But we'll see. But you're right. We're gonna talk a little bit about the pathways and whatnot, what this edge room could look like with injuries happening. Kayleon Green coming in saying, "Yo, Nick and Scott, yo to you, Kayleon. Happy Thursday."
Hey yo.
Also, we got Bronco Gang saying this will be Russell Wilson's greatest season by far. Well, that would be amazing. This could mean multiple things to me. Russell Wilson obviously won a Super Bowl, but while he was very good during the Super Bowl winning season, he wasn't an elite. It wasn't all on his shoulders, I guess, is the way to put it. A lot of it was leaning on the run game and the great Legion of Boom defense. That would probably be Russell Wilson's greatest season, but then you're talking statistically, they haven't put as much on him. And that's probably one of the reasons that there's a lot of discussion about Russell Wilson and his viability. Seemed like the Seahawks didn't believe that he could be that top 3 quarterback where you put everything on him, but he needed to be more complimentary. So we'll see how it plays out this year. But I'm really excited for the season. I definitely think he has a chance to have his best statistical season this year. But we'll see. A lot of
So
questions.
2015 is fourth year in the league. We're talking 4,000 yards, 34 touchdowns, 7 interceptions.
That would be. And he didn't
Yes,
receive an
please.
MVP vote that year.
Yes, please. Let me see.
That's crazy. Maybe the quarterback play has been so bad in
Offensive
Denver.
Player of the Year, 3 Pro Bowl. But that's it. So I don't. After that, I don't know. But he was third in the Offensive Player of the Year, and then rushing in that year. And he had. Oh, and by the way, he added 553 yards of rushing. I just think, and I'm pretty sure Broncos fans will agree with me. You know, we're going in thinking, you know, Aaron Rodgers. I like Aaron Rodgers. I do.
Mhm.
But how refreshing is it to have Russell Wilson there? One, we talked about the on the field difference was he's younger, significantly younger. That's a plus. But just the guy coming in without any of the off field drama. You know, it's all business. It's the quotes he was given the other day, the obsession with winning, but also knowing how to enjoy it so you don't burn yourself out or burn teammates out. So you can be a leader that way. You know, yes, we've got an obsession with winning, but it's also important you enjoy what you're doing out there. Just saying and doing all of the right things. It's nothing but love. There's none of the drama that surrounds Aaron Rodgers, and you've just got to be thankful for that. I think, am I speaking for Broncos country when I say you are? I know I am, being around this team as much as I am. I'm thrilled that it's relatively peaceful. It's all positive stuff right now.
Yeah, 100%. But don't worry, one loss in, and we'll see some some of the anger come out. Max Power coming in with the 5 pounds, saying a question to Scott. All right, rude. No, it's okay. I knew you grew up a Falcons fan. Do you find yourself rooting for the Broncos now? Do you want them to succeed?
Yeah, I do. But it's mainly just because I want it for y'all. My fandom in the NFL is slim. It's not really even a thing anymore as far as I'm rooting for this team. I started working in sports and football in, I don't know, 2000. So it's been a long, long time. You know, I went to Auburn. Bama X is in here. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'd rather Auburn win than not. And this, you know, that means more to me than, you know, living in Atlanta, I guess. But I'm not hugely a fan. I poured my fandom into international football, which was Chelsea Football Club, Atlanta United. My kids is where my fandom goes. I want them to be successful for y'all because I'm around y'all every day. And I want you to be happy and to enjoy yourself. It's a better place to be in this chat when things are going well. And, you know, and you're building towards something. It's more fun to do that than to, you know, have to deal with, you know, just the negativity isn't fun.
Yeah.
So this has been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Absolutely. Definitely as I've said on here, a dark cloud has been lifted since the Broncos got Russell Wilson. And it's just the uncertainty of the quarterback position. It was quarterback nihilism before, and now we are entering some sort of nirvana. We'll see how far we can go here, but will be a lot of fun. Thank you so much for this.
And Nick, I've told you before, the phrase I use all the time is I root for me.
Yep.
I root for me. I said 12-5, I think, maybe 11-6, 12-5. You know, I want the Broncos to be somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yep.
I don't want to say 12-5 and have them go out and be 3-14. That makes me angry. And I've said before, if you watch and if you see somebody who holds a grudge against a team or a player, it's because they made a prediction and they got made to look stupid. Now they're pissed. So it's an unconscious bias. Like, when I picked them third in the country, they went and tanked. I look like a moron. But it is one of those. Appreciate the comment, Max.
Yeah, thank you so much, Max. We also got Gary Leeds Palmer, the notorious GLP, coming in here saying, good morning, Nick and Scott. Hope we can avoid the injuries of the past years, but I don't think the finger is anything to worry about. Which finger? No, show me, Gary. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's the reason that it is a talking point for me is just like we talked about earlier, your edge rusher position is already somewhat built on sand. Bradley Chubb missing significant time in 2 of his 4 seasons in the NFL and suffering a significant knee injury his senior year of high school, I believe, as well. You have Randy Gregory, who, you know, his partaking of marijuana, as Adam Sandler would call it, has not so much an issue anymore as far as missing time, but it's definitely a factor in his past. And then you also have the injuries that he sustained, and he had shoulder surgery, which he's another one who might not be ready to go week one. And he was your big free agency signing, in my opinion. So just your edge rusher position's a little bit, it's volatile. We talked about a very high ceiling, but also a very low floor given the amount of injuries and availability history of some of those guys in there. And that's just one more thing. It's like, making me personally a little uneasy.
Yeah, I get that. It's just one more thing,
Yep.
when you get the injury rap. Baron Browning had that a little bit coming in, and he played a ton of games at Ohio State. And then he missed some time. You're like, see, I told you. I think you use the phrase a lot, Nick, confirmation bias on something like that. So yeah, get out there and get healthy.
Yep.
Phil McLaughlin coming in too.
First Lawrence. Hello,
First
Lawrence.
Hello, Lawrence. Much love, guys. I'm in a meeting. I'll watch later on. Leave a comment. I'm perusing all of the comments in there after the fact and taking a look. So put a comment in after the fact on YouTube.
Yeah.
Phil coming in too, saying good morning, Nick and Scott. Have a great day. Thank you, sir. Last day of school, summertime. I got to the ability to sleep in till 7 if I wanted to. So I woke up 20 minutes early.
Yeah.
Just the way it is. It's like when you don't have to get up, all of a sudden your brain says, yay, you don't have to get up. Get up. Damn it.
I don't know what that's like, having to not get up, Scott, for my 6:30 a.m. shows. Can't complain.
That's when I get up.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's I don't mind it too much. The issue is when we're hanging out before bed and it's like, oh, one more episode, and then the next thing you know, it's 11:30 and I gotta be up in
I'm
5
done
hours.
with that. I'm able to now turn off episodes like mid episode. I'm like, okay, I'm done. When I feel a chance to go to sleep, because I have trouble falling asleep. When I feel a chance to go to sleep, it's like off power.
Yeah, I will say it's probably a superpower, but I sleep quick and I sleep heavy.
That's one of my three. I sleep so poorly. It was one of my 3 wishes. I was like, let's see, teleportation, telekinesis, and the ability to wake up and fall asleep whenever I wanted to. Those were my 3 wishes.
That mine always was like, if you could have any wish or any superpower, and my wife and I, unprompted, I think we ever talked about it before, but we both said infinite knowledge, because then everything is at your fingertips. I screw your wishes, I can do it myself with infinite knowledge. So
yeah, but then you still have to do it. I always thought telekinesis would be pretty cool, and teleportation means you could do really anything. It's like I could live anywhere, I could go anywhere, I could see anything at any time.
Yep,
be pretty cool.
Yeah, but I think
speaking of cool,
yeah,
Reese is coming in. He says, I will take the Russ energy versus the Aaron drama any day for sure. Yeah, that's when you just think about how close it seemed that Aaron Rodgers was coming to the Denver Broncos, and now what you've got now, we almost take it for granted to a certain extent that it's happened, that it's happening, and man, just the OTAs, the press conferences, all of it has just been terrific. It's just been great. What a turn. We said this a lot going in. The one thing I can promise you was that there would be a culture change. That's the one thing I can promise you. The energy and the culture will change. Period. I promise you. Because that team was the Walking Dead last year. They just were.
Yep. 100%. And the other one that's a big time plus is no Shailene Woodley, Aaron Rodgers drama. Sierra and Russell Wilson, rock, man. King and queen of Denver. That's amazing. Gotta love it. I will take Russell's energy every time. That being said, Aaron Rodgers is probably an unquestionable top 3 quarterback, where Russell Wilson's probably 1 tier below where Rodgers is. So you have more years of Russell. You have better culture there. Rodgers is the better quarterback. Just is what it is. So I'll take Russell Wilson
too, but I think it's close enough that, sorry to interrupt, I think it's close enough to that your quarterback isn't the difference in the team right now. You know what I mean? Like,
you're good enough.
My quarterback's good enough to win a championship. Okay, now what else do I need to do? Okay, I need to get better on the offensive line. I need to stay healthy. I need to find another weapon at tight end, whatever.
Yeah. Need the edge rushers to stay healthy. Phil McLaughlin coming in saying, good morning, Nick and Scott. Have a great day. # let's ride. You have a great day, Phil. Good to see you. Hope happy pre-Friday or Friday Junior, whatever you want to call it. And absolutely, let's ride. We appreciate you. Bama X, feeling a little queasy after you called
No,
out the Auburn.
that was when I mentioned earlier,
No.
just the Auburn, Alabama thing. And Bama X, I grew up in Atlanta, so I didn't grow up. Being an Auburn person who grew up in Atlanta, my rivalry was Georgia. It really was. And you've heard me talk about the 92 Alabama team before.
Yeah.
That was my second year at Auburn in 92. And I absolutely admired and loved that Gene Stallings Alabama team, especially when I was watching the Jerry Glanville run and shoot circus with the Falcons. And then you got Stallings over there with Curry and Copeland and Antonio Langham and George Teague in that defense. It was fun to watch. So I'm not one of those guys, and I don't care anymore. There's just other things I care about. I don't care. I don't have the energy to care about an Auburn and Alabama rivalry. It's a waste of my time.
What Scott cares about now is the Iowa Hawkeyes, because that
absolutely
my mood changes, and then
don't mess with the Hawkeyes. Yeah,
100%. They got to figure out this NIL stuff. Guys are going to start transferring here soon. It's got me a little nervous, but we'll see what happens. Benjamin Flores saying, "What's up? Good morning, gentlemen. What's up to you, Benjamin?" Also, we got Colton Ensley coming in here saying 71 watching. Make sure you guys hit that like button on the way in. I got 15 likes over here on Facebook. I'm sure we got more on YouTube, but if you haven't done so yet, please like and share on Facebook, and like, subscribe, and share, and hit the bell notification over on YouTube. Also, guys, if you haven't done so yet, make sure you head on over to huddleuppod.com. Check out the gear. We got the coffee mugs, which has got a necessity. I honestly might need to get another one, because having to wash it every day when we're doing these shows pretty much every day is become a nuisance. And I'm here for the ease. Why not just get another one? And also,
my wife just washed mine out. She's like, "This one was kind of gross." I'm like, rinsing out a white coffee mug doesn't quite cut it. I call it seasoning, like a pan. It's like seasoned in here.
That make me. This is how I feel now, Scott. Don't season your coffee mug. God, that sounds like something here. We had a question in here from Dom coming in here saying, "Question, boys, do you think Wilson will make more rushing yards or passing yards for his first year as a quarterback? If Russell Wilson has more rushing yards than passing yards, something went so catastrophically wrong. I don't even know how to comprehend what that would look like. I don't think there was a single quarterback. I don't know when the last time it was that a starting quarterback had more rushing yards than passing yards. But Russell Wilson, with his age,
impossible.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah, if you don't want you want Russell Wilson being at this point in his career, 33 years old, et cetera, et cetera. You don't want him being a rushing quarterback by design. You want him like the Patrick Mahomes type of rushing threat, where it's like, okay, they're only sending 3. Everybody's dropped into space. It's too deep, and I have 10 yards in front of me. I'm going to take that every time, and I'm going to scoot on out of bounds. That's the type of rusher that you want Wilson to be.
I want at least a 10-to-1 ratio. I want 4,000 yards and about 400 rushing. That would be good. And 400 rushing at 33 would be a lot.
Yeah.
That would still be a lot. So appreciate the question, Don. One of these I wanted to see real quick. I just had a quick response to this. Was Bronco Gang coming in and says, "What happens if the Raiders get Colin Kaepernick?" The same thing as the Jaguars taking Tim Tebow. A lot of media distractions and absolutely no impact on the field, unless it was the distractions that cause a negative impact. As far as the impact on the field that someone like Colin Kaepernick or Tim Tebow would have at this stage of their careers, 0.
Yeah. Yep. 100%.
And on the Reese Scott comment, lots of people coming in saying, "I'm with you, Reese." Reese had said, "I'll take the Russ energy versus Aaron drama any day for sure." Mm-hmm. And Gary had also said, he goes, I'm on Facebook, but I love the Reese Scott comment. Wanted to make sure that y'all got a chance to see that too.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you. And also, shout out to Reese. Thank you so much for the support. Mark coming in, talking about the edge rusher position, bringing it back to our main topic here of Jonathan Cooper and the edge rusher position in general, talking about injuries. Christopher Allen may be a great idea. What is up with him health-wise? I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Chris Allen at all this season, and he is a pure injured reserve stash for the Broncos, and we can see him as a kind of a stashed draft pick for next season. We talked about it earlier. Somebody mentioned, trying to hide and stash some of these players on the back end of the roster. I know you want your edge rushers, but if Christopher Allen is not at all healthy, or you're worried about him, you can get yourself an extra year. And I'm not sure how this works. I know that he suffered an injury while playing, so I don't think he qualifies for the non-football injury list like David Ojabo will. But still, you can stash him for a year and unveil him next year, where you're going to have some questions at the edge rusher spot. Malik Reed's going to be a free agent after the season. Bradley Chubb is going to be a free agent after the season. So we'll see. And all of a sudden, it says I have 1 bar here. So let me know if all of a sudden I
It's
start talking like.
I think it's a StreamYard thing right now. I was hitting it too, and as y'all know, I'm on like gigabit Ethernet here, plugged in and
Okay.
everything. So I think there's a could be a StreamYard connection. So let me hit this real quick.
Oh, go ahead.
I'll hit Randy Chubbsack real quick, saying if it weren't for Manscaped, I'd probably be Nick Chubbsack. Thank you both for helping make my morning commute great. Glad we could help, and thank you for the stars. We certainly appreciate the support as well. And Peter coming back in with some stars, saying, could this kind of injury get Cooper off the roster with special teamers like Patrick in the wings? No, I think Cooper showed enough that he's, especially on the salary he's on, he's got a spot on the 53 for sure.
Yeah, if Cooper's not on this team, it's because he got traded for like a 4th round pick or something, or a 5th round pick, which he's probably more valuable on your team than that draft pick coming back, given his cost control, given your questions in depth at the edge rusher spot and future questions at the edge rusher spot in contrast to his team control.
Yeah, so, Nick, thanks for clarifying. When I see off, I think of just released. Anybody could be, if you're replaced, that's different than just being off to me. So thank you for the clarification, Nick.
Yeah, 100%. The guy that you want to probably watch in this edge rusher room that is notable, I would say, is Malik Reed. And you probably are hoping that he has a great regular season, or preseason, training camp, whatever. So even if you can get, let's say, a 2024 6th round pick for him, or like a 2023 5th, and you send that 7th you got from the Vikings over, that's the type of value you're talking about there. Creating a little bit of room, saving, $2.5 million in cash. I mean, that adds up. So that's the type of move that I'd be looking for. But we'll see. Ryan coming in here. Wanted to say hello to Ryan. Good to see you, Ryan. Good morning. I was Team Rodgers until the Instagram publicity stunt. Had to pinch myself when we got Wilson. Let's ride. Yeah, that. What a roller coaster of emotions. Jerry Jeudy kind of exemplified it the best on Twitter. The Aaron Rodgers coming back news, sad face. Like, I'm going to have to deal with Lord knows what this season. Not good. And then, was it 3 hours later, 4 hours later, bald eagle just flew over. Gosh, I'm really cool.
I'm setting up like a watch cam. We're going to get like we're going to set up a live stream just to watch out of Nick's window. That is so cool.
I live right by, I guess I don't want to share too much personal information, but I live right by a massive lake in Seattle, Green Lake, and it's about a 3-mile circumference around the lake. A lot of wildlife, great blue herons. I walk the dog around it almost every day, and there's been ospreys, and there's always a lot of eagles. I don't know if you guys follow me on Twitter or Facebook, but I share those pictures as well. I do love the big birds. Also, my favorite bird out there is the kingfisher. Always see some kingfishers as well. A really cool one.
The only thing I get here down where I am during a show is sometimes the deer will come up and look in the window. They're like, oh, hi, deer.
Hello to
it's
you.
Crazy. You know what a Chinese holly is?
Mm-mm.
It's a holly bush, except they're forked like this. And I call them like hell's guardian bushes. They're so sharp. Those deer will eat those things. I'm like, I don't even want to come near them. I was like, man, you got to be tough to eat those things. So anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's our nature show portion, sponsored by the Nature Channel.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm excited for the nature this weekend. I'll be out in the Olympic Peninsula, and it is bear season. And last year, the backpacking trip that I did, that I'm going to do this weekend, we counted 12 black bears. So excited to see that again. They're off in the hill, like in the valley. We're in the valley, and you can hear them off in the distance going whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, just, it's really weird to hear them off in the distance. It's pretty cool.
Donald derailed.
Yeah, gotta love the animals. Scott and I definitely share that love, animal lovers. Donald Wentz coming in saying, who else got hurt? I know Cooper got hurt. We know that Randy Gregory is coming off of arthroscopic shoulder surgery that could cost him a good bit of time. They're saying he should be ready by week 1, but they might take it conservative with him and put him on the short-term IR to start the season, just to give him a little bit more time, get him ramped up and everything. We'll see. We're still far enough away that, we'll see what it looks like. And who else got hurt? Billy Turner is dealing with a injury as well. We don't know the extent of it. Apparently he is day by day with that injury, but it's something that apparently was bothering him last season as well. So that's where my red flag goes up. Okay, Billy Turner day by day, whatever. Billy Turner's still dealing with an injury that was concerning last season. That's not sure what's going on there. A lot of times when you hear something like that, it's like, okay, we're going to try to play through it. Actually, surgery time. And that's kind of going down the path of what we did last year with Bradley Chubb as well.
Yeah, you just started talking about the recurring thing, starts getting a little bit nervous. But again, shut it down. He's a vet. Shut it down. for a little
Mhm.
while. I know new scheme this, new scheme that, but he might be more familiar with the new scheme than anybody. So, get healthy, dude. Get healthy. So hopefully that gets taken care of, and you've got 3 months to recover and get into game shape.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why they had Braden Smith getting some right tackle reps in the OTA highlights the other day. But we'll see. We do know that Billy Turner was released with a failed physical by Green Bay, and they're taking it day by day with him right now. But definitely a concern because the right tackle position is probably the most volatile on the offense right now, to be honest. So we'll see how it plays out. But who knows? We got a question coming in here. Oh, comment here from I'm the Man over on YouTube saying, Morning Broncos, good to see you. And our guy, Michael Ronquillo, coming in, always supporting us. Good to see you, Michael. Hope you're doing well down there in Tucson, Arizona. Good morning to you. And he says, good morning, Nick and Scott on Broncos for breakfast. Let's ride. And then he also says, good morning, Broncos country. And Ethan coming in saying hello to him as well. Peter Middleton coming in. Aaron Patrick as a special teamer probably gets on the roster, though. I wouldn't be so sure. You obviously want those back end guys to be roster contributors, but I don't think Aaron Patrick last year first off, everybody on special teams last year should be on notice because the special teams was that putrid. Was it coaching? Was it talent? Probably both. But Aaron Patrick as a special teamer definitely gives him a plus, but I don't think I would say for sure he's going to be a guy that makes the team because of the edge rusher spot, the number of bodies you have, the amount of linebackers that you're carrying, et cetera, in general. You can find other guys that can play special teams other than Patrick. So definitely a feather in his cap that could make him easier to get on the field or make the roster, but definitely not a guarantee.
Yeah, he was there a lot. I just looked him up because I didn't remember him. I apologize.
Yeah.
I didn't remember even talking about him in all of the times we've done this. And he was on 72% of the special team snaps last year, so he was there.
Yep.
But 1 year in the league, could be a practice squad guy too.
Yeah.
Could be one of those bounce backs. I think they've made it now where you get one of the new rules that came in is you get an extra promotion. So it's like 3 times. Before you could move up, you could be bounced back and forth, yo-yoed twice before you had to make a decision. Now you can be yo-yoed from the practice squad 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
So we might see more of that this year. He could be one of those guys that makes the 70 because I think it's 53 and 16 again. Makes the 69-man roster.
Yeah, 100%. We'll see how it plays out in the end, but that definitely gives him a better chance to make it. Nick, do you have an Instagram? Yes, I do. I think I'm at ND Kendell. So follow me. Whatever. It's mostly hiking pictures or pictures of my dog. So I don't think it's private because I'm just sharing pictures of hiking mostly. Good morning, Nick and Scott. I guess I got a question. What do you guys think about Gaddafi, Wright, and Muaga making the team or special teams? I know that Muaga's apparently been standing out some, enough to the point where Broncos defensive coordinator Giro Evero has addressed him. So keep an eye out for Muaga at former USC Trojan, playing decently well for the Broncos at the linebacker position. I think he is somebody, I don't think he's going to be a starter per se, but somebody that, given his youth and his cost and everything, might push a guy like Justin Strnad off the roster. Because Justin Strnad didn't play well last year, not really great special teams player, and it's 4 years of control versus 2 years of control. You typically go with a guy that has more years of control because you have a longer runway of finding success in pathways to the field.
A little strange there, Nick. If you look at his career at Buffalo, the Bolles, played in, looks like 22, 32, 49 games and only had 147 tackles. That was a year for most, a Chad Muma, that's a season. For Troy Anderson, that's a season. At Buffalo, why wasn't he doing more? So I don't know the answer to that question, but that's one of those data points we talk about that makes me ask more questions.
Yep.
So that one is curious. Enough games, it didn't look like an injury, so to speak, but why wasn't there more production there?
It's a good question. The one that seems to be standing out, though, is Mauga, the other name listed here from USC early on.
Is that Ray's brother?
I do not know. I know that he played at USC. So
did Ray. Ray was a beast. Good Lord.
Probably is
Ray
then.
Mauga, he was a beast at USC.
Yeah. It might be his brother, but we'll see how it plays out. But again, the fact that an undrafted free agent this early in OTAs was getting a call out from a defensive coordinator, probably means something. So keep an eye on him. And a lot of times in preseason, especially, it's the third or fourth quarter, and like, who the heck is this person playing out there? I know the Broncos roster pretty well, but the 90th guy on the roster, typically, maybe you don't know him as well. But Mauga might be out there with that third and fourth string, and he's a guy that, okay, I have somebody that's got a little bit of buzz. I'm going to keep my eye on him.
And if it's Mauga, if it is Mauga like that, then it's definitely not Ray's brother because it's a different last name.
Yeah, you're talking Ray Malaluga, the one that was with
I
Brian
just
Cushing.
thought because Gaddafi was spelled wrong. I thought Malaluga might have been spelled wrong too. And the USC connection, the linebacker connection, it all kind of. But no, definitely not the same person if it's different last
spelled
names.
differently.
Randy coming in with some stars in one of these what if scenarios that are so much fun. You get to protect 2 Broncos besides Wilson from injury this year. Who do you protect? I got mine right away. Bradley Chubb, Garrett Bolles.
Interesting.
If you can guarantee me 17 games from Bradley Chubb, I'm taking it right now.
Yeah, I will go. I'm not going to go Garrett Bolles because he's not. Well, offensive tackle is a value position. It's not as much an impact position, and I think you can scheme
until you don't have one.
That's true. But I think Patrick Surtain has more value, more impact on the game, and I think you can overcome losing losing Garrett Bolles for the year versus Patrick Surtain. I think the defensive structure on the back end is going to run through Patrick Surtain. Seeing what the Rams did defensively, where their entire back seven ran through what Jalen Ramsey could do. I think if you lose Surtain, the defense is going to not be. It goes from top 10 to bottom 10 with that type of injury. So I'm going to go with Patrick Surtain on this one.
I don't know. You've already got questions, or you've got questions. The one place on the offensive line you don't have questions is left tackle.
Yeah,
that's it. And if you've got questions at right tackle, we're talking about one guy going, being hurt already. If you end up having a weakness at left tackle because you've got a replacement player in there, you're in trouble. I would protect Garrett Bolles first. Would be my number one choice. I think you've got enough talent at the wide receiver position and in the defensive backfield that again, if I've got a healthy Bradley Chubb and he's putting pressure on him, then maybe I don't need Pat Surtain quite as much. I've got depth at the wide receiver position that if Cortland Sutton goes down, KJ Hamler could possibly step up. But I've still got Tim Patrick, Jerry Jeudy, Okwe Benam, Javonte Williams, Russell Wilson, a healthy offensive line. I'm still okay there. For me, man, that's easy. Garrett Bolles and a healthy Bradley Chubb, yes, please.
Yeah, I will have to agree to disagree on this one because I think what I saw from Calvin Anderson, just a limited sample size, but he was okay there. And I hear what you're saying about the cornerback room, but Ojimudi is coming off of a terrible hamstring injury that cost him almost the entire year. Darby's never healthy, and I think PS2 really is the backbone of the defense. What he's going to be able to bring for you coverage-wise, shutting down half the field is going to change what you can call coverage-wise and pass rush-wise. So I agree with you. You definitely want Bolles to be healthy too, but it comes down to like the simple value. I think Patrick Surtain is a more valuable player, more valuable asset in general, and the team without him, I think, is worse than the team without Bolles. But let's knock on wood. Terrible question there. No, Timbo coming in and saying Bolles hasn't really ever been injured. That
wasn't the criteria, though. To me, this becomes who's your most valuable players. And for me, on this team, because of the lack of depth at the position, especially considering your other tackle is right now is a liability until proven otherwise. To me, your second most valuable player on this team is Garrett Bolles.
Yeah, and we got Mike Givens coming in saying, Nick, this is for another cup of coffee. I have my
another coffee cup. Get another mug.
Oh, another coffee cup.
Yeah, get another mug.
Honestly, it's not a bad idea, for sure. And also, we got some other people coming in here. Peter saying, I agree with Anderson, Nick. And then Mark saying, I agree with Scott on this one. Sorry, Nick. That's okay. We're here to. It's good when we don't disagree. It'd be boring as hell.
It's nice to have multiple options instead of just, it means that the team is good enough because, as Peter says, surely, Justin Simmons. It means the team is good enough that there's multiple players that you're counting on that if one of them happens to go down, you heard that, the knock on wood, you should be okay for the most part. Again, but I we don't have to agree on this. It's okay, but you won't be able to convince me that it's not left tackle right now for this
Yeah.
team, just because of the weakness of the offensive line as a whole compared to the strength of the other units.
Yeah. And Michael coming in saying, what's good at shutting down one side when Williams is on one side and Allen is on the next? It's resource allocation. The Rams did it a lot. They'd play 3-by-1 defense, where you had Jalen Ramsey essentially erasing one side of the field, and then you could have. They played a lot of cover 3 last year. That robber would fly down from the side where you have less coverage, so you have more bodies in space in that area. So it's not to get too much into the weeds with the scheme and what the Rams did, match quarters, covered 3 wise, but having one guy, it's happening right now. The Chargers are kind of implementing this as well. You saw them go out there and pay J.C. Jackson because they want to be able to do this as well. Having one cornerback who mainly functions as even though it's match quarters, they function as a boundary man cornerback is really, really important to function your defense when you're playing the 2 high safety structure pre-snap and bringing down one of those guys, walking them down, so to speak, to get more bodies flooded into a zone. So it really is important for what a lot of teams are trying to do right now.
Yeah, and Tim Cum says, I was mainly saying we don't know the hell of not having a left tackle for the last 3 or 4 years. Yeah, and thank you for the clarification, because my initial read on that was you don't have to protect Bolles because he's not going to get hurt anyway.
Yeah.
So and that's so that was wrong on my part. So thanks for the clarification.
Yeah. And DWI guys coming in here saying edge and left tackle, the 2 most important outside of Russell Wilson. I think in today's NFL, if you're following the money, cornerback and wide receiver honestly could be pretty close there as well. Depends on the value of the player, the individual. So I'd put all those guys similarly. So take the best ones. And again, that was just really me. Also a chance for me to shout out how I think Patrick Surtain is incredible. Last year, he was a top 10, 15 cornerback his rookie season at age 21. This year, he could be top 10, top 5. And I think the defensive structure is going to depend on Patrick Surtain. I'm really excited to see what his usage is this season, and I'm hoping to God that he stays healthy, because he is I don't think he's just going to be a Pro Bowl player. I think he's got a chance to be multi-All-Pro with how good he looked last season. He looks phenomenal. I'm so stoked for Patrick Surtain this year. So,
I'm glad you like the pick, Nick. I know you were so high on it to begin with.
Yeah, no, it's
no, and to be fair, it wasn't. We both wanted Justin Fields in that spot. You know, I'll say that. But I said, I wanted for corner, Pat Surtain was the guy, especially, good Lord, especially the injury problems was Caleb Fairley, the Virginia Tech guy was having. Those were scary injury problems.
Yeah. Yep, Fairley when his back got flared up again, and I found out he was going to be 22 versus Patrick Surtain, or excuse me, 23, and Patrick Surtain at 20. I'm like, oh, I'll take that one back. What I would have done probably, I mean, again, and this is just me, hey, Nick, you're an idiot. Yes. Okay. Call me an idiot. I probably would have taken Fields there, or I would have traded back what the Bears offered and taken Odafe Owe down there and gotten that first round pick this year. But it is what it is. I also really like Greg Newsome in the back end, and he played really well last year. Also, that was a pretty good draft in 2021. But
yeah, it was.
Can't really fault it because Patrick Surtain.
We were excited about that, and frankly, like I've said, I'm excited about this past draft. I want to see the guys come out. I think we're going to have this could be one of those but drafts where but you got this guy in the second round, so there's always going to be second and third rounders. They're going to be Pro Bowlers. And it's like this felt like an exception draft to me, where there was more depth in the 25 to 125 range than we're used to seeing, but the top 25 was kind of meh. Yeah. So we will see.
Ray J coming in saying, would you guys be surprised if KJ Hamler ended up with the most receiving yards on the team? Could break out as one of those pure speed demon receivers. I would be surprised if he ended up with the most receiving yards. Would I be surprised if he ended up with the most 20 plus yard catches or the most yards per reception on the team? No. But as far as actual yardage, I would be pretty surprised, because I don't think it's a disservice to him to call him gadget, but he's not as every down, every roll valuable as the 3 guys ahead of him, in my opinion. We want to see what this offense looks like, so that's definitely a projection on my end, but I would be surprised if he is, and I'm a big KJ Hamler fan. I love that pick. I'm a speed fanatic. I want more speed on the offense as I possibly can get, so hopefully KJ can stay healthy, because speed is like a really good 3-point shooter in basketball. It's not always that doesn't mean that guy's going to be making every single 3-pointer ever, but it makes things easier for everyone around you because it changes the spacing and how defenses have to respect you. So hopefully KJ can stay healthy. He has a gravity to him because he is that fast, and offense can be significantly different with him on the field versus without him. So not most receiving yards, damn good player. I'm excited for him this year.
Yeah, I just want him to be healthy. And Peter, thanks for bringing this one back up. It snuck by me when I started, talking. Randy Chubbsack always throws me off, and Manscaped, and I'm just lost after that. So, is there a free agent right tackle that we can bring in? Is there anybody right now that you would say, okay, this is a guy we should probably go after? Or are you thinking kind of like I am? Like at this point, I'm waiting until after June 1st to see who's going to be camp casualties, salary cap casualties, to see if I can do significantly better than what's available right now.
Yep, that's where I'm at as well. Want to see what happens there. I guess Brian Bulaga's still out there. I know Riley Reef is still out there. Also, two guys that have dealt with injuries. I think you have a better bet right now to assess what the market is after training camp or through training camp to see who gets released in that area when the rosters get cut down, and maybe you could even make a trade for a guy as well if you need to do that. So right now, it'd be wait and see and let the guys that you have in here compete, and then reevaluate what the market looks like, because it'll be much different. 2 months from now.
Yeah, and I'm trying to bring up a list of free agents on Spot Rack, and it's taking too long. So
Riley Reef and Brian Bulaga.
When I always do this, I always do tackle period, because some of these guys are either listed wrong or can flex to either ways. So available players, Nate Soldier, Dwayne Brown is still out there. Brian Bulaga is still there. Eric Fisher is unsigned. So there are some guys that are still out there.
The question is, will they play right tackle? Some of those guys, I think, are left tackle only. I've heard that Dwayne Brown does not want to move to the right. I've heard Eric Fisher does not want to move to the right. And there was one more you said on
there were, like I said, I look at all of them. I said Nate Soldier, Dwayne Brown, Brian Bulaga, Eric Fisher, Darren Williams, Riley Reff, Marcus Cannon, Zach Banner, Brandon Shell. Those are some guys that are still out there. Bobby Massey is still unsigned, actually.
Bobby Massey could be an op. That's the one that makes a lot of sense. Also, the Broncos brought in Brandon Shell for a workout before signing Billy Turner, and Brandon Shell is still out there. So I guess that's a possibility as well. But we'll see what happens. We got a question coming in here from Ryan coming in saying, what do you guys see Mathis, rookie cornerback, impact on the team? And also Michael saying, can Mathis come in and improve the cornerback room right away? I like Surtain over JC Horn and the rest, even at 9, best player available. Very happy to have very, very happy to have Patrick Surtain. Did see Clee come in saying trading back to the Bears and taking Greg Newsom wouldn't have been bad either. I think he said that like right as I was saying that. I would have done Odafe Owe just because we were both, synergizing off of our love for Odafe Owe last season. But
freak gets thrown around a lot, and that dude's a freak. Good Lord. His pro day numbers were absolutely insane. I say this without hyperbole, that the second he put on a helmet, he was one of the best athletes in the NFL.
Yeah. Yeah, he's my kind of edge rusher too. Not only is he a good athlete, but that dude is powerful and he's big and he's long. Love that. His pressures were insane last year. We'll see what he looks like. That Ravens defensive front is going to be a lot of fun. But I digress. What do we think? Yeah, God. It's a good team. They always draft well. They let the board come to them. They didn't take a lot of value positions this year, which I think is worth noting, but still going to be a good team in the trenches.
You got Travis Jones in the 3rd. That's pretty good value. I thought they were going to take him in the 2nd. They got him in the 3rd.
I can't wait to see the zone read options with Lamar Jackson running, and then like Tyler Linderbaum running like 40 yards with him just down the field, like hauling ass. It's going to be fun. We have the Mathis question. What do I think about Mathis this year? He's competing with Michael Ojemudia for that first boundary cornerback, and also I think he's also competing for the backup slot position. He's versatile. I'm not expecting too much from him this year. He needs to work on his penalty and his technique. I think your Mathis question is more so, can he develop enough this season where you have a little bit of leverage and pressure to renegotiate that Ronald Darby contract after this season? I think that's more the Mathis pathway and projected plan in my book.
Yeah, again, you're looking for most of these guys. Yeah. I mean, is there anybody that you drafted that you want to pencil in as a starter? Probably not.
Maybe a Wuzurike.
Okay.
Just because like McTelvin Najim, Deshaun Williams, really small. Like this, I don't really like DJ Jones at the 4i compared to the nose guard position, nose tackle. So that's the only one that sticks out to me as far as a starter. And Dulcich also. I don't think Alberto Cuebanam it doesn't sound like they're looking to use him as a tight end. He's a big slot. He's going to get the Alan Lazard role. So Dulcich and Wuzurike.
So, and yes, competing for, but not necessarily penciling in.
Yeah.
Again. So how are these guys going to compete? Where are they going to compete? And I think Nick covered that one pretty well. Dennis Chandler says, what are your biggest areas of concern, if any, around the Seattle game? By the way, Scott, I'm going to visit the Chelsea Stadium in about a week. Well, congratulations. It's a lot of fun. It's a good area, and London's just awesome. You know, there's the tubes right there by Stamford Bridge, so you can go there and then go anywhere from there. It's pretty sweet. It's a fun place to be. Go get a picture with Didier Drogba. That's what I did. That's my guy.
I am still butthurt about when I went to London in 2016 because we were there and God, we went. My buddy from Germany met us up there for his birthday. My wife and I, when we traveled around Europe, and we bought 3 beers and 3 burgers, and it was like $120 or something American dollars. And it's, oh my God, like London's like one of the most expensive cities in the world, right? Mm-hmm. And then the day we got home, so we left London and then we flew out of there. And then the day we got home, the pound crashed because it was around Brexit. And it was the first time since World War II that the pound had less value than the dollar. And it's like, God, we were right there and we spent all that money. It was like the end of our trip too. So we were like scraping by. It's like, we're at the end of our budget. But is what it is.
You travel like me. I for one of my wife's birthdays, we went up to Niagara Falls and everything was closed. I'm like, great, Scott. And then she plans the trip to Italy and it was like Culture Week. So everything was free. Like, okay, you plan our trips. We're good. Concerns, Seattle game. Health, plain and simple. I don't want to go into that game thinking Randy Gregory and Bradley Chubb are out. The right tackle still hasn't been settled. An injury we can't account for. I want everybody to be healthy, and I want everybody to be healthy so there's no excuses. I mean, you go out there and you've got everybody around, and if you get beat, you get beat. But man, there's so much excitement around this team that I don't want it to be derailed by injury. I don't. Yeah. If they fail to live up to expectations on their own merit, so be it. But I don't want it to be robbed of a chance to watch this team play at its best because of injury. That's the thing that scares me the most.
Yeah, and we're going to be getting out of here in a second. So if you guys have any questions or whatever, get them in. And we'd appreciate that. But Dennis, my biggest concern in that game is going to be stopping the run game. I'm not sure what the Broncos' run fits look like in this defense. They keep talking about wanting to play lighter, playing more dime packages, et cetera, less guys in the box. And if you guys listen to us in the my biggest worry is, Nick brings the jinx and is 0-7 in games he's attended live for the Broncos. That's definitely a good call. But my biggest concern is stopping Kenneth Walker. If you guys listened to us in the pre-draft process, you knew that I was a big Kenneth Walker fan, and the Seahawks took him with I think they took him with the Broncos pick that the Broncos sent second round. And Kenneth Walker is a very good running back. I'm not sure what the Broncos run defense is going to look like this season. You did get DJ Jones. He's not really a lengthy boy, so to speak. He's a little bit more of a fire hydrant type, so you're not really playing him across multiple gaps. We just talked about it earlier. That 4-eye spot that Shelby Harris vacated is a massive question mark, so we don't know about that one. And just the run defense in general. So that one scares me. The Seahawks are probably going to want to run the ball a lot. Luckily, it's not going to be – we're not playing Seattle in like November or December where it gets wet and cold here, so it should be a little bit better for – footing and the pass game. So that should help the Broncos some there, but stopping the run. I want to see what it looks like. They were bad at that last year. Point blank. They were not very good. They were a bottom 10 team in stopping the run. They need to be better this year. And that's probably what the Seahawks are going to try to do to them.
I think that's a good call. I think right now you can probably stack the box. You can scheme your way into stopping the run and then worry about, make somebody beat me with a long pass, make Geno Smith, make Drew Lock, make them beat me with their arm. I think you've got enough bodies that you can scheme against the run. Yeah. Assuming, going back to mine is everybody healthy? I want everybody to be healthy. I think you should be fine, honestly.
Yeah, and talking about scheming,
appreciate the stars, Dennis.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dennis. Talking about scheming to stop the run, and putting more guys in the box to do that. I agree with you that the quarterbacks wise they don't scare me. But as far as deep threats, I mean, DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, you don't have to have the best quarterback in the world if you're playing single high safeties for those guys to break your back. So it's a tough position. I don't really respect the
top 5 cornerback. Match them up on one of them.
That's true. I cannot wait for that matchup. Surtain safeties. It'll be good. Also, I'm excited. Are the Seahawks going to start 2 rookie offensive tackles? Who knows? But that would be
that's why I said the Seahawks don't scare me. I mean, they don't. They're in rebuild mode. They don't scare me. It's one of those. I don't care what you're doing as long as I'm taking care of my business. That's how I feel about the Seahawks. The Broncos. If the Broncos are taking care of their business, are healthy, and there will be plenty of positive momentum going into the first game. Not like the past season. That I think this feel good honeymoon period will last at least till week 1.
Yeah.
That if you take care of your business, the Seahawks don't scare me.
100%. And yes, I'm going to be at the Seattle game. Not sure what my plans are yet. I haven't been to a Seahawks game before, so hopefully won't be too bad. I might have to take off work early on that day. James also coming in here saying, good morning, Nick and Scott. Just popped in to say hello and hit the like button. Off to work I go. Well, we're getting on out of here. So I wasn't sure if Ethan was going to come in as the closer, but we got to move, man. We got to get out of here. So Ethan, hope you're doing well. Also, Ethan reached out to me yesterday and was thinking about you this morning. We talked about you this morning, so hope you're doing okay. But we got to move. We appreciate you guys coming in. Make sure you're following Scott and I on Twitter. Scott is at Scout Kennedy. I am at Nick Kendell MHH. Also, make sure you guys are following us at Huddle Up Pod as well as at Mile High Huddle. And it's not on here yet, but we do have a podcast specific account now at BFB_pod on Twitter. So make sure you're following that as well, because we'll have the episodes released there. We'll have content released there. So follow that one. As I mentioned earlier, make sure you're following us at huddleuppod.com. Check out the gear there. We have a lot of different stuff, the hats, the sweatshirts, the coffee mugs, et cetera, gators. The website has been redesigned. There should be some more new gear coming in here soon. So that'll be fun. We need to bother Chad some, Scott, to get us some of the, the hand-drawn caricature stuff, because I'm getting sick and tired of seeing Zach and Chad's head there. We need a couple of our big domes.
I'm afraid mine would be all forehead.
That's okay. You're in good company. This is Peyton Manning land. So if there's any place where big foreheads are accepted, it's in Broncos country. We accept that. We love that as well. So make sure you guys are following us there. Also, if you haven't done so yet, follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Mile High Huddle, and our other channel at facebook.com/Mile High Huddle Pod. And as the ticker says underneath here, YouTube folks, obviously not everyone's in a position to contribute to the show financially. That's okay. I get it, man. It's the end of the month. Gas prices are crazy. Is what it is. But you can do this for completely free, and it helps us more than anything. Make sure you subscribe to the channel on YouTube, the Huddle Up Show, Mile High Huddle. Like this page, like the channel, and please share on Facebook, YouTube, socials, etc., etc. Interrupt me again, but that's okay.
I'm going to on this one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, you can see why I'm interrupting you while you're reading. Ethan came in red as the closer. The DWI guys, big red super chat. Thank you, sir. Thanks for another Broncos for breakfast, gents. Have a great weekend, everyone. Hoping for good weather for Nick. Absolutely. And then Dom, no, we will be off on Mondays for a little while. I'm probably going to crank something up on my channel on youtube.com/C/Scott Kennedy on Mondays. But we will see. That won't start. We'll take Memorial Day off for sure. So nothing will happen next Monday. Yeah. And Ethan, you rock. Thanks, dude.
Yeah, you do rock, Ethan. We appreciate you. We're going to get on out of here. You guys have a great day. Make sure you reach out to your loved ones. I know things are rough right now in the world, but we do have each other. That's I think there's some solace in that. So appreciate you guys. Appreciate this community. You guys are amazing. You make these shows valuable, helpful, fun, everything. So we're just here, blabbing, but it's really about you guys. So we appreciate you all very much. We will see you guys on Tuesday. Hopefully, as long as a bear doesn't get me in the woods in Washington, we'll see, or the cold. But appreciate you.
Does a bear eat Nick in the woods?
I mean, I am just going to lather myself up in honey. So we'll see. It's tradition.
Whatever the hell I've heard all day.
Whatever the hell that means. But we appreciate you guys. We got to go. Choose compassion. Choose kindness. Go Broncos.